Hello traders, welcome to today's video on Thursday the 11th of January 2024. Lots of ones in today's date. It is the 11th of the 1st and it is the first day of Bitcoin becoming a big boomer asset. The ETFs have been approved. The market has reacted accordingly, which was by pumping everything apart from Bitcoin. And now we're just staying in the same range. However, I am still very bullish on this market. There's no way that you can really put a bearish spin on this. Yes, we might get a correction, but this is incredibly bullish for the space as a whole. It's going to bring in an enormous amount of attention into the market. And we do not have attention on our market right now. No matter how bullish people think the market has become, you do not know euphoria until you have witnessed a real bull market. All we have been going through over the past few months is a repricing of basically this event, getting rid of the bear vibes of the last couple of years and bringing it back to a more normal, sustainable level. So yeah, with prices across the board basically being back to the summer of 2022 prices, Bitcoin obviously a little bit higher because they've been pricing in other stuff. It's just kind of brought things back to normal. And now I would assume we start a bull market from this point. That doesn't mean we can't have 30, 40% corrections, but very, very bullish. Anyway, after that pep talk, back to the price action. So yesterday was actually fantastic. A really, really clean day to trade, which was surprising because most people were like, oh, I don't want to trade this. But we came down, we took out the previous day low, and then we hit the previous day point of control before retracing, holding value area low, and then once again breaking higher. So fib levels working well, liquidity working well, NPOCs, points of control, volume working well, everything working very well. And I am anticipating higher prices. So the effect of the ETF yesterday was that, oh, well, we already knew that this was happen, so we're just going to chop around and kind of do nothing. And yeah, what happened after that, the order books actually, it was kind of the opposite effect. The order books filled up on the bid and the ask, and I think that was maybe just an effort to just cap things, just not to make it too crazy. It didn't want to be such a volatile event. We wanted to focus on the news more so than like a massive pump or a massive dump, which actually in hindsight kind of makes sense. The limit sell orders were then removed from the market and we got that nice spike up that took us close to the highs. I, at this point, closed out of the long position that I was in. I went to sleep and I wake up this morning thinking that, yeah, we have a pretty good chance of getting some continuation higher. So what we've seen so far today, okay, this breakout, we open outside of value area, you come back in, you test the previous day point of control and the golden pocket from this move here, and we've had a decent bounce off of that so far today. What I want to see is essentially the range that we were previously in, okay, which is this one over here, the first little breakout range that we had that then got rejected. We want to see this hold. Okay, so price holding, forming some value between that 46k to 47,500, 47,600 makes sense. And I think as long as price can continue to do that, then we are looking for those moves once again above 48, up towards 50. And then beyond then, it's a similar situation as what the NASDAQ and the S&P went through. When you look at the macro, other than where we are right now, there is very little to stop this from making new highs. So I do anticipate that we get a correction at some point. Once whatever's going on here has happened. However, I think that would give us a really good buying opportunity for all-time highs over the course of the next year. So today, yeah, in terms of trades, we kind of got the good levels. I think you'd have to just be looking at the high. All the internal highs, so it's just a case of liquidity. So we're looking at this floating up, scalp shorts that can come back into a POC, before moving higher, scalp short that can come back into that. We also would be useful to look at the VWAP on a day like today. So if that VWAP is continuing to rise, then we could see something like this happening through the rest of the day. Now, if we are to drop a little bit lower, if you look here on the 30-minute time frame, basically, let me just mark the daily open so you guys know exactly where it is. Right here, anchor. There. Okay, so below our daily open, we do have the single print. So we had that move down that happened overnight, Asia selling. Then we impulse back through the daily open, and we have what is essentially a nice little gap on the chart here to be aware of. So if we are to get a dip back into this area here, this is where I would look for bids, run it below that daily open, kind of come back into where that VWAP is, run it below there a little bit, and then once again we're looking for that continuation higher. So it's whereas yesterday we had some really nice clearly defined levels, it's a little bit more sketchy today. We're working within a narrower range anyway, and a little bit more consolidation is possibly the most likely. We've also just got to have chance for the books to fill back up. Like, as a lot of people didn't trade yesterday, there isn't really an opportunity to get into the market as of yet. For the price action we're seeing, we've just got to wait for that open interest to build back up, and for general price action to start to develop here. So a little bit more sideways probably again for today is what I would be expecting, or we get a bigger break higher. We have PPI, CPI, one of them today. I was going to be doing a live stream for that, but unfortunately I will not be able to do that. I am having internet trouble. I'm trying to record this in a little window where I've got internet, but I have been having internet trouble today, and I do have to pop out a little bit later on. So I will try and do a live stream this evening. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, in terms of other stuff, the liquidity levels, like I say here, it's kind of needs that time to fill back in, right? So open interest has dropped a fair bit. If we look on CoinGlass, we can see the open interest starting to rise back up, but after the events of yesterday, the open interest has fallen. Is this going to load? There we go. So we had those big drops in open interest. We've got to wait for that to start to climb back to the levels that it was at previously, basically. This being a 1 minute chart, this being when the ETF news was released, and you can see here the OI has just been going down ever since. A lot of selling going on, so crazy, right? We're still getting a lot of selling across the market, and similar situation here. Okay, where we've just got to wait for this order book to fill back in, I think, before we've got enough liquidity for a major move in either direction. Funding rates are fairly neutral, so it does lead me to believe that sideways and up is the most likely scenario on this occasion. Take your trades accordingly. I don't have much more to say on this update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the live stream a little bit later, where hopefully I have a much more stable internet connection, because it is, as you just seen, a bit dodgy today. So thank you for watching. See you very soon. Bye-bye.